Let's mix it up with our panel. Jane Hamsher, the founder of Fire Dog Lake, and Martha Zoller, conservative radio talk show host. Martha, let me start with you. Is this whole spending stuff, are we seeing the kind of typical schizophrenia that afflicts Republicans on this, where you've got rhetoric about cutting spending, but as the New York Times poll shows today, a lot of people like the programs that are actually where the money is in the federal budget? What do you make of it?
Well, there's a lot of cuts that have to happen outside of Medicare and Social Security, but if Obamacare is not repealed, then $500 billion has already been cut out of Medicare. So there's a lot of issues that have to go on regarding Medicare and Social Security, but I think $100 billion is doable in this year, maybe not in this fiscal year, because of course we're in continuing resolution time, but in the fiscal year, I think $100 billion is doable. And I think that defense has to be on the table too. I mean, there is waste in defense just like there is everywhere else. So I depart a little bit from my Tea Party friends on that, but I think that we've got to keep pushing. You know, if we get $80 billion instead of $60 billion, then that's $20 billion better for the American people.
Now, these are big numbers, Jane, but this is out of a total federal budget that's like $3.5 trillion. So even if they're doing 60 or 80 billion this year, it's only a small piece of the total pie. And yet I think Republicans are already getting a lot of indigestion when they realize what the impact would be of those cuts, especially when it's focused on such a narrow domestic slice of what government does. How do you see it?
Well, I almost hurt myself laughing in 2008 after the election when the Republicans suddenly turned themselves into the party of fiscal responsibility, as I'm sure many people did, after being on a drunken spending spree with George Bush for 8 years. And in that situation, there are many cuts that could be made that I'm sure you, me, and Martha would all agree are wonderful cuts. The subsidies for overseas advertising, that would cut $1 billion. The market access program, subsidies for trade associations like the Chamber of Commerce to market overseas, that would cut hundreds of millions of dollars. Farm subsidies to big ag, the ethanol subsidy, all these things that are popular with the people, but they're not popular with politicians who are still taking those lobbying dollars. So I think that they're going to have some real problems with their base because, frankly, they could cut that money if they wanted to.
And Jane, let's work together on that. I think it'd be great.
I absolutely do.